Hi, I'm Amy Schulz.
And I'm Diana Miller. We both work for Cheyenne Mountain Zoo's International Center for the Care and Conservation of Giraffe. Our mission is to relentlessly improve the lives of giraffe worldwide.
One of the ways that we help to meet our mission is through working with our animals in cooperative care. So here at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, our giraffes are trained for things like voluntary x-rays, voluntary ultrasounds, voluntary hoof trims, voluntary blood draws, voluntary stem cells that can get put into their jugulars. They can accomplish really cool goals when we use positive reinforcement to help work with our animals. One of the things that we're really passionate about is making sure that other people have the skill sets to be able to take care of giraffes in similar or the same ways with positive reinforcement training. Because of this, we started a giraffe care workshop in 2015 to help teach people how to take care of giraffes, whether it's through training, nutrition, hoof care, enrichment, all those sorts of things are incorporated in our workshops. During COVID, we had an opportunity to reevaluate our programs since our workshops were kind of put on hiatus. And one of the things that we talked about was whether or not we were meeting our mark and having every person who has a giraffe be able to do hoof care with them. So we sent out a survey to see why people might not be able to do the voluntary training programs like we have here. And one of the reasons that came back as the highest on the survey was that they didn't know how to train, which is not unexplainable. We're not taught how to train. So we wanted to create an environment where people could learn those skills. Because of the data that we got back from the survey, we started a second workshop, which is just for giraffe behavior. So we partner with Dr. Susan Friedman from Behavior Works, who's been a longtime partner with us, to run a workshop to teach people how to advance their skills in animal training. We've been partnering with Dr. Susan Friedman for at least 10 years as well, and she's been a huge part of our learning when it comes to the science of behavior change. So we've invited her to help with our workshops as well, and she teaches the science of behavior change in our workshops, along with Rick Hester, who both works here at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo as well as for Behavior Works. This gives people an understanding of the background behind the way animals behave and why they might choose to behave in that way, and it allows us to harness as our skills as trainers to change the environment a little bit to get the kind of behaviors that we want to see. At our workshops, after people get the lecture portion, then we move on to the hands-on portion of the workshop. And we've been really fortunate to learn from other people on how to gain skills in this piece, both as learners and as teachers of hand mechanics. So we've taken Mary Hunter's Portal, P-O-R-T-L, Portable Operant Research and Teaching Lab. We've taken her workshops and have implemented pieces of that into our workshop as well. So this is where people get skills in things like cueing, when to move your hands, when to give food to the animals, how to interact with the animals when the animals are saying no. We're kind of working with that in a table setting. And then we take that table setting and apply it to another person. So we start to teach another person before we go and work with our animals. When we're teaching someone how to train, we'll start them at the target stick. So we'll have them holding the target stick. And then we'll have a second person like Diana here. If we were being an example, she might touch my target stick with her hand. We would practice our bridge timing, our location of reinforcement delivery, our timing for when to cue, all those kinds of things so that we get our hand mechanics down with people and we're not experiencing errors with our animals. So we'll get it down here and then we'll move to an animal. But we're not just going to start right off with a giraffe. That might be a little bit intimidating to start with a 2,000-pound animal. So for our giraffe behavior workshops, we typically will start with an animal like a goat and teach someone how to target a goat, how to deliver food with a goat, bridge timing with a goat. And once they've got it down there, then we'll go and practice with our giraffe. By the time we get down to the giraffe barn, usually people have enough experience between the lectures, the hands-on, the tabletop games, and working with each other and the goats to have a little bit more confidence before we put them in front of the giraffe. But we're still there to answer questions and to coach the people on where to stand and how to hold your target stick, how to have the treat pouch behind you so the giraffe's not bucket diving, all that kind of stuff we have experience with before we get down to the giraffe barn. And we do this not just for our workshop attendees, but also every single new trainer that's going to come through our program gets put through this as well. And we try to match our coaching to where the skill sets of the learner are. So if we've got someone who comes into our giraffe program and they have a lot of experience, we might not necessarily start them with the portal hands-on games. We might just put them in front of a giraffe and give them minor tweaks and little bits of coaching here and there. But we don't have a program where we say you do target 3 times and your box is checked. You ask the giraffe to put their foot up on the block 3 times, that box is checked. It might be 10 times for someone who's new to training, and it might be 0 times for somebody who's got a lot of experience with it. So we're writing our coaching plans the same way for people as we might write a shaping plan for an animal. We're trying to look at their skills and see where they're at whenever they're standing in front of a giraffe.
One of the skill sets that we hope people leave from our workshops or as we're coaching that people are gaining is when you're down at the foot, how you can move the foot to be in the most comfortable position for the giraffe, creating a lot of stability and support for the lower limb, which is really important for you to be able to do hoof care with the duration that you need for that foot to be up on the block. And as a certified hoof care professional, it's one of the things that I incorporate into every time I'm at a foot working with an individual. So when we have one of our learners down there with us, we're coaching them through how to touch the foot. Do you need to position your hands differently? How do you move the foot? We're not forcing that foot into a position. We're helping to guide that foot after we get the giraffe in the most comfortable position to be successful for that foot to curl. So really giving the learner a lot of these skill sets on how we communicate. There's lots of trainers in the session, so whoever's at the foot, whoever's at the head, and then also the animal. So we're all making sure that we're communicating with one another, listening, and going off of each other's communication to really have a successful learning environment.
One of the ways that we feel like we can really help meet our mission of improving the lives of giraffe worldwide is by improving the skill sets of trainers worldwide. Those two really go hand in hand, and that is a huge part of our mission. If you want more information on how to do that, please look at our website. It's giraffecenter.cmzoo.org, and it's got a lot of different resources on there for you. It's how to build a hoof block, how to build a target stick, how to put up fire hose, everything that we have related to safety. We want to make sure you're safe while you're learning to take care of giraffe as well. And all of this was built off of the backs of a lot of other people that we have met along the way. So if you were part of our workshops before, thank you. We've learned so much from you as well. It's a real blessing for us to have been able to meet 30 different individuals at every workshop that we've gone to all over the world, because then we can keep building and kind of like a dragon hoarding that information in order to be able to give it to you all as well. We do also have office hours. So if you want to hang out with Diana and I once a month, we do office hours where you can bring a question. We can look at it as a group. Whoever joins that day might have a bunch of different ideas or opportunities for you as well. We just really want to make a difference for giraffe and help pay it forward. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you soon.